Alert, alert. This is Natish Cannon, and I'm coming to you live from Cape Canaveral, Florida, safely socially distanced and quarantined. Been quarantining out here for quite some time now, and I just want to say, look, we're living in some very, very interesting times in human history where you have the potential to make a change, but it's very important that we don't get carried away from what's going on in the world right now. We've just seen some amazing events in human history of solidarity and people coming together for the first time. It's quite amazing to see the protests in all the cities. What hasn't been so good is all the looters, though. There's a lot of people that have been damaging property, and I don't see how you can damage personal property for your benefit and anything good can come out of that, right? I mean, think about this for a second. People work so hard. Most of these are minority and immigrant-owned businesses. So people work so hard as immigrants that have come to this country, fighting for their justice, fighting for their civil rights, fighting as a small business to thrive in this society. And we've seen looters damage and riot and break property. And I mean, it is just, it's heartbreaking to see that, right? I mean, it's crazy that we live in a time when people think that is some form of justice, because that's clearly not. And the other thing is the fact that we're protesting that Black Lives Matter, and then some people are saying that all lives matter. Well, guess what? When you say Black Lives Matter, it doesn't mean that all lives don't matter. It just means that we have seen atrocities in this country where people seem to forget. People seem to forget the notion that there is incredible injustice. And if we really want peace on earth, the best thing I can say is take comfort in knowing that we are not all the same. We are all different. And if we learn to respect each other's differences instead of pretending that we're all the same, we're going to have a lot more peace. A lot of people always say there's racism and this and that. You know what I find to be comfortable? If you're racist, it's okay, but you got to be racist to all people equally. That's what I say. I would go to meetings, and to disarm racism, I would say, yeah, I don't like Chinese people. I don't like black people. I don't like Jewish people. I don't like the LGBT community. I don't like anybody, all right? I don't like white people. I don't like black people. I don't like anybody. I'm racist to Arabs and Indians too. Guess what? Now you're racist across the board equally. In the same way, if you love somebody, you should love all people equally. Love people for the integrity of the work that they do. They love the love that they keep in their heart by the actions that they proceed. And if you don't like somebody, you have the right to live your own life in peace without affecting everybody else, right? You have the right to make your own decisions in life. You don't have to agree with people, but it doesn't mean you have the right to impose on other people's rights and take away other people's civil liberties, because we live in a society where it is so important that we take into account everybody's civil liberties. Otherwise, we will live in a very chaotic society. One more thing. When people are protesting and on the streets, it's amazing that we can come together. I mean, when I seen all these looters, the irony of all these looters is what I find thoroughly fascinating, is the fact that there's whites, Mexicans, black people coming together to loot. I mean, imagine if we could come together in solidarity to show love and peace and rebuild our communities. All these same people, what if we can all collectively organize in groups? And what if we can come together as one society and rebuild these businesses, rebuild our communities? We are a mockery in the world right now. You're seeing China making fun of us. You're seeing India making fun of us. And I see this all the time. I talk to so many people every day. I've done Zoom calls, and I've talked to well over 200, 300 people all over the world, and we do business meetings, and they all say the same kind of things to me, that like we are just like a walking mockery of ourselves. And it is just fascinating to me how we let this happen. We live in the greatest time in human history. We live in a time when technology has enabled us to live the most incredible lives. We live in a time of abundance and prosperity. I mean, think about it, okay? I think the problem is you got to change your mindset. And what's happened is all these conditions, right? There's a global pandemic going on. People are kept inside their house. People are losing their jobs. They're on unemployment. They're getting welfare. They're getting aid from the government. They haven't been out. And now, when they see the atrocities, they're going out and they're overreacting and things are becoming crazy. And if we do not change the way that we operate, if we do not enable people to live with hope and to take fear away from society and to bring peace, to restore order, people aren't going to realize the goodness that's left. You got to realize in all of the protests and everything that's going on, this is actually a great thing because it shows the power of exponential technologies. For the first time in human history, anybody with a smartphone in their world has basically a mobile broadcasting studio that can reach potentially billions of people. You can live stream content. With the same phone that I'm using now, you can there's people doing TV shows on TV that they're recording on their phone and they're broadcasting literally to millions and billions of people across the world. People can be moved by your story and you have the power. All of us collectively have the power to tell a story. And the most important thing we can do is tell a story on what side of history that you want to be on. So I think collectively, if we all make the right decisions and we all come together as one society and empower people to live their dreams instead of tearing people's dreams down, what if we just empowered everybody and enabled people to live a greater life? All of society is going to be a much better place for us.